You might think that you can't get a decent MPV for under ₱1,000,000. And while there may still be a few of them to choose from, hardly any of them will fit the bill when it comes to space, comfort, and performance. But what if I told you that you can have all that without spending a lot of money? Allow me to introduce the Maxus G50 Comfort. The Maxus G50 Comfort can be yours for only 948,000 pesos. And that's remarkable value considering that this is the biggest MPV that you can get with that kind of money. Okay, so now you're probably wondering, what's the catch? Well, let's look at the specs. See. Okay, there you go. This only comes with a 1.3-liter engine. Man, a 1.3-liter engine for something this big? This is probably underpowered. So nope, it's definitely not underpowered because that 1.3-liter engine comes with a turbocharger, allowing this to put out 163 horsepower and 230 Newton meters of torque, which is just amazing because that's only 6 horsepower and 20 Newton meters shy of what you get in the 1.5-liter higher end variants. And what makes this truly spectacular is the fact that peak torque is available as early as 1800 RPM and goes all the way up to 4400 RPM, which is the rev range that you usually stay within when you're driving. So this always feels light on its feet and it's always extremely responsive when shifting gears. And speaking of shifting gears, yes, you will have to row your own with this one. But is that even a bad thing? Well, just to give you guys a bit of background, like many people my age, my first car was a manual. And that was a long time ago, 27 years ago to be exact. Okay, too much info. But the point I'm making is that when I was driving a manual, I told myself that I would never drive an automatic transmission because I'm a car guy. But then Metro Manila's traffic took its toll on me and I got older. So I ended up with an automatic, in which I told myself that I would never go back to driving a manual. But then I got behind the wheel of this, and I spent hours behind the wheel, and now I've changed my mind again. And that could probably mean that I'm just fickle-minded. But the thing is, despite spending hours and hours behind the wheel of this thing, it just never gets tiring to drive, despite being a manual. The clutch is so light and easy to control. So I'm just going to take a moment to stop here to show you that the clutch is so easy to control that you can release the clutch without stepping on the accelerator and you won't stall the vehicle. See? Because you know exactly where the biting point is. And that makes it extremely easy to modulate so that when you're hanging, there's no fear of rolling backwards. And aside from that, the shifter is just so precise and there's the satisfying notchy mechanical feel each time you shift gears. So overall, I just feel more in control of the power delivery and braking because I can downshift to slow down. And it also makes me drive smoother because the pedal box is ideal for rev matching. Now, confidence in control translates to security and peace of mind. And that's priceless, especially for a family hauler. And that's what the G50 does best, because unlike other MPVs at this price range, the G50 seats 8 adults, quite comfortably I might add, because this has a 2-3-3 seating configuration, and even with the third row seats up, there's still adequate space for storage, which is something other MPVs can't brag about. Now as you can see, there's plenty of space back here, even for an oversized adult. My only gripe is the fact that you don't get air vents for the third row passengers. You need to spring for the higher end variants if you want air vents on the ceiling, because this one only comes with air vents for the second row passengers. The air conditioning is cool enough to reach the third row seats, but you will have to turn it all the way up. And this being a base model won't give you all the features that you get in the premium variant, such as a wireless charger, a 12-inch infotainment system with a 360 camera, and a panoramic sunroof. But this will tick all the boxes in terms of what truly matters in an MPV, These seats are just so comfortable. And again, I've driven this for hours and it never felt exhausting. This also has stellar ergonomics. Everything is well within reach and it requires absolutely no guesswork to figure out how to work everything. The dashboard also sits low and you can adjust this for tilt to give you the perfect driving position. Plus, you get nifty features such as a tire pressure monitoring system and several charge points and adequate storage throughout the vehicle. And the additional features on the premium variant are certainly nice to have, but this comfort variant will give you everything you need. Well, almost everything, because I can live without a touchscreen, but I really wish this had Bluetooth connectivity. But at least you get a USB port. But despite being a base model, the important thing is Maxus didn't scrimp on any of the important features. Features that we sometimes take for granted or pass off as letters on a spec sheet. And the features I'm talking about are stuff like ABS, electronic brake force distribution, brake assist, and stability control. These are features that I gained a better appreciation for thanks for Maxus Philippines, who allowed us to experience how these safety systems work firsthand by letting us push the G50 to its limits in a closed circuit. The G50 remained composed when driving over a prepped and extremely slippery surface covered with linoleum and soap. It also didn't spin out of control while panic braking during a sharp turn.
It has those features, right? Of course, it's manual, so traction control on the start will be a little different. But otherwise, it's good. See?
Yep.
Then now I'm going to accelerate, but of course I have a clutch, no? So I have to pop the clutch, but then it still won't, no? Control it until I get off. Then here was that was the scientific test style. This is the real world style, you know, where you get all the weight turned and then slamming on the brakes thing. This car will use it because now it's all the systems working in real life scenarios. I went all the way to full lock. Huh? It could still turn in. So that's what I meant by it's supposed to be sliding off. We brake pa, so lalo pa it's supposed to slide off and still it tracked in. Right? It's just the natural handling of the car. And it's just like the others. It's still also light steering. Has all those nice features.
Now, I've always known what those features can do theoretically, but after experiencing and seeing how they work firsthand, I cannot overemphasize the importance of having them in any vehicle, especially one that your family rides in. But this is an MPV, a multi-purpose vehicle. So aside from being a good cargo and family hauler, it also has to be a good daily driver. So it may seem that having a vehicle that does it all is wishful thinking, but the G50 definitely comes close because it's an MPV. A sedan is easy to drive, but it just won't offer you that much space and utility. A van, on the other hand, will offer you that space and utility, but it isn't exactly easy to drive or maneuver around town. An SUV is really designed to give you the best of both worlds, but they aren't exactly affordable, and this still offers much more space. So if you could only have one vehicle, this should definitely be it because it offers you space, comfort, and utility. And to be honest with you, most vans and SUVs will pale in comparison to the level of comfort that you get from this. And the bonus is that this is so easy to drive because the steering is light and it's responsive. So that makes it extremely easy to park and maneuver despite its size. And given its powertrain and overall driving dynamics and just how responsive it is, I dare say that it's even fun to drive, which is something I didn't expect from a people hauler. Now, if you're thinking that family haulers or MPVs don't exactly have that cool factor, well, at least the G50 still manages to exude some character without trying too hard. It even has sporty touches, such as real air vents, a front lip spoiler, and an aggressive looking front end. So for under ₱1,000,000, you're really getting several cars in one. And that kind of value is simply hard to beat. Thanks for watching.